Nolan Finley, very well-known columnist with the Detroit News and a keen observer, is on the other end of our line here. He has written a commentary that says the state Democrats are in a world of hurt. Good morning, Mr. Finley. Thanks for being available.
Good morning, Mike. Appreciate it.
Is that headline accurate? Are the state Democrats in a world of hurt?
It darn well better be. Yeah, I think, I think if you look at the poll that was in the Free Press on Friday, a couple of things in there really stand out to me. Beyond the fact that Bernero's starting this race 22 points behind, if you take a look at party identification and ideological identification, you've now got 49% of the people in the state identify themselves as conservative, and another, I think it was 20-some percent, say they're moderate. That doesn't leave the Democrats with a whole lot of voters to mine in this election.
That's a very dramatic shift, is it not, from the perceived lean in the state of Michigan? We were, what do we call it, a blue state, I guess?
Right on up until just about 18 months ago. I think it's the most remarkable shift I've ever seen, and it's entirely a reflection of what's been going on in Washington. You have a lot of people who have woke up and said, hey, what's happening to my country here? This is not what I signed on for. And I think you saw at the Republican convention on Saturday a reflection of that. A lot of people there who had never been engaged in the political process before, who are now fully engaged and are angry and are wanting to make a difference, wanting to get involved. I've never quite seen anything like it before.
Kyle Malin was in here a little bit earlier, and we were talking about the choice of Lieutenant Governor Brenda Lawrence, the mayor of Southfield, and well, he kind of indicated that in his mind, you're not going to really get a big bump out of your candidate for lieutenant governor because, lots of the people that you would want to have aren't interested in a number 2 spot on the ticket, nor are they interested in a pay cut.
Well, he doubled down on another angry mayor, and the truth is that was all he could get. He was turned down by another number of people, and in the end, he had to take Brenda Lawrence or run by himself. I mean, he did ask a lot of people, folks like Gary Brown, Detroit City Councilman, who already had a pretty good job and already focused on the job they're doing, and not eager to sign on what looks like a losing campaign, just to help the party.
Do you know any other names that the mayor vetted or asked and turned him down?
Well, I mean, they're fairly public. I know he vetted Rod Gillum at GM. I heard he vetted Joel Ferguson, Gary Brown. There were 2 or 3 others who slipped my mind at the moment, but or more than that. He just, he started out looking for an African-American Detroit business person. John Barfield's name was thrown about. I just don't think he had much luck getting any of those folks to get excited about his campaign. He's been, the moderate pro-business Democrats are a little nervous about this guy.
Why do you think they're nervous about him?
Well, listen to his rhetoric. I mean, it's all anti-business, anti-Wall Street. I think he's just a little too loud and a little too radical for the moderates in the party. I know that last week you had a number of business Democrats and some moderate labor Democrats who met with the Snyder campaign are about to launch a Dems for Snyder movement. Going to start a fundraising effort. You have a lot of the middle of that party deserting it because Bernero's just too radical.
Do you think the debates can be a game changer?
Could be. I expect that the debates will help Bernero. You take a look at his delivery, his fire, what have you, and compare that to Rick Snyder's very low key, and you can see why Rick Snyder might not want to do 8 debates with this guy. I think they'll stick to the minimum. I don't think the debates are going to be enough to raise a 22-point difference in the polls. And if another thing about that poll, if you look at the perception of Bernero, very unfavorable perception. Only 22% of state voters view him favorably. So he's going to have to spend a lot of money on his own image, as well as trying to tear down Snyder's image.
All right. Well, thank you very much for the chat this morning. We will read you in the Detroit News and keep in touch.
I appreciate it. Thank
No,
you.
I appreciate it. Nolan Finley from the Detroit News this morning. Bob.